Hi, everybody. So welcome to our first panel of the day. This is Leeds Apprenticeship Recruitment Festival 2023, and we're super, super happy to have a panel here who, if I'm not wrong, no, you come from a very wide range of industries, right? Great. So my name's Phil. I'm from Open Source Arts. We're supporting with these panel discussions today, and also my colleague Myra here, so I'll let introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Myra. Nice to see you all today.
And we're just going to hand over to our panel so they can introduce themselves to you, and then we can hear some conversation and then have some time for questions. So we'll spend about 30 minutes on this, and make sure if you're interested in anything that the panelists have to say, maybe grab them afterwards for a quick chat. They'll be hanging around, and also you can find their organizations downstairs in the main auditorium if you want to go and have more of a chat with them later in the day. So hi, welcome panelists. I'm going to just start at this end and hand the mic over, and please give us a little intro. What's your name? What organization are you from? And then just please pass the microphone down and we'll start like that.
Good afternoon. My name's Paul Cartwright. I'm Deputy Head of Apprenticeships for Leeds City College, engineering and motor vehicles. So we cover quite a wide range of manufacturing, maintenance, fitter sort of apprenticeships, and also we cover the motor vehicle. So level 2, which is a auto care, level 3, motor vehicle service and repair, and then we also do body and paint repairs as well. So quite a diverse, quite a big centre is our engineering centre, where we take people on generally on a day release basis. Obviously 4 days in company and 1 day within the company, within the college. Some courses, because they're a little bit more detail on the knowledge, then we do run the first year as a 2-day release sort of program. So
Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm from Jet2, and we run the Level 3 Engineering Technician, which is a 4-year course where we train engineers in-house from coming in at 18 years that knowing nothing about how to fix an aircraft to leaving with their A licence, which allows them to do work on aircraft. Not the end of your journey as an apprentice at that point, but it's a good stepping stone into working on aircraft.
Good afternoon, my name's Iqbal Bahir. I'm from a company called Kirkstall Precision Engineering. We specialise in precision engineering predominantly for the medical and veterinary sector. So when you see all these orthopaedic operations, we manufacture a lot of the instrumentation and devices used in medical sector. It's a growth sector. People are living longer. Medicine's getting more and more advanced. So surgical operations now mean there's a whole array of opportunities for the medical sector to give a better quality of life, and we assist in that. We've been manufacturing in the Kirkstall area for 30 years now. Our background predominantly is engineering, but more so with apprentice engineering. All our team leaders and managers are ex-apprentices, so we're very passionate about apprentices. We're here today on stand E47. I myself started many, many moons ago as an apprentice engineer, and I've moved around the world, worked all over as an engineer and as a manager and a director in the engineering sector. And I'm really looking forward to giving any advice I can today to the people here.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Dean Coleman Walker. I'm Business Development Director for a business called the Pre-Management Limited. So we're based in Bradford, but we work with around 200 different engineering companies around West Yorkshire. So we're specifically just for apprenticeships only. We don't have any study programs, but what we have is quite a diverse range of businesses that we work with in the engineering sector, from defence engineering, aerospace, oil and gas, food and drink. So there's quite an array of things that we deal with. Now, predominantly, we are level 3 and level 4. We can go on to even higher sort of qualifications as well within what we deliver. But yeah, it's just going to be good to hear what you people have got to ask today. And, you know, do ask if you've got any questions. Make sure you get your hand up or pinch the mic from one of us. Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Ingrid Law. Sorry, my throat's going a bit sore today, but I work for Brandon Medical. We're based in Morley, Leeds. We are the only UK manufacturer of operating theatre lights, but we also produce capital equipment for medical settings, right from hospitals, veterinary surgeries, GP surgeries, you name it. We've got our lights, our control panels in those environments. We've 3 apprentices at the moment, various different opportunities for people coming into our company and learning about our business. We'd be absolutely delighted to talk to you more about it. I'm absolutely passionate about apprenticeships, and I just see the opportunities it gives young people, young talent, and just want to advise you and help you as much as possible, in your search for your career.
Brilliant, thank you. And one thing I'd like to know is what do each of you feel is a big benefit for you to have apprentices in your organisation? So very often the apprentice might feel like they're the one who's learning, but actually I'd like to know what you think the benefits are for organisations to have apprentices in.
I think apprentices just bring a whole new vibrancy with them, and sometimes a whole new vision of looking at something. Obviously, we're very restricted on what we can do, and we have to follow lots of process and procedure about how we go and fix aircraft. But the engineer is always developing, the technology is always moving forwards. We're used to a pilot sitting at the front and flying a plane, but now we're looking at things like unmanned drones, and that's the future for an engineering apprentice in the aviation sector. By the time you guys get to my age, we'd be looking at Uber flying around with no driver on board, potentially. So this is where the future for aviation engineering is going. You'll be getting your groceries delivered not by the little man in the Sainsbury's truck or the Asda wagon. It'll be dropping it up from you above your head, or a little car that drives along the footpath and drops it for you now. And we laugh at that, but actually they're testing that with the co-op deliveries now. So that's where it's going for engineering in the future.
For us, apprentices, they're a blank canvas. All they know is childhood, school. They come out of school and we've got a blank canvas that we can mould. We always say, give us a young child, we'll give you a precision engineer after 6-7 years. It's not a job anymore, it's a career, and we're getting youngsters in. And the new era, we're dinosaurs now. I'm 55 this year, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to it, and I'm fairly clued up on technology. But with the mobile phones today, with all these IT skills, engineering is changing, 3D printing. So we take a blank canvas and we try and mould them for the future. Lots of investment, lots of time, but it's crucial. We do need the next generation. And this country, we have to manufacture or fix something. We can't just have a whole economy built on a service sector. So like I've said, for the sake of repeating myself, it's fantastic. We get young kids in, they're a blank canvas, and we've got something to mould for the future.
Giving young people an opportunity to come into a business environment, especially not necessarily having lots of experience. I've worked at universities, and you go out into the wide world and you've got no experience. And I think doing an apprenticeship is such a fantastic opportunity because you get the best of both worlds. You get the input from a training provider who can give that sort of theoretical knowledge, but you also get the practical experience of actually working in the real world, and it's completely different. And that's not your fault that you don't have that experience until you've actually gone to work. But I've just seen how some of my apprentices have grown in confidence, just being able to interact with people, all those softer skills that you don't have. And, it's really important. So absolutely, that fresh blood, as you said, it's fantastic.
We're not actually an employer, we are a training provider, but just to sort of echo what everyone else is saying on that, there's a massive skills gap in engineering and manufacturing in this country, and there's some of the world's best businesses that are in West Yorkshire. They're on our doorstep, so it's vital not just young people are considering going into engineering apprenticeships, but they're there for anybody that, you can use transferable skills. But we understand, and as the panel's already said, younger people are more digitally native. We're moving into the realms of, we're into what's called Industry 4.0 now, which is a digital automation world that we're living in. And it's you guys that are really sort of harnessing the digital IT technology that's out there and putting that into engineering, because we're seeing exponential growth now. Engineering's been like that, and now with the advent of, nanotechnologies, artificial intelligence, it's becoming more day-to-day rather than just for the high-tech sort of businesses. So there you go.
Spot on. And in terms of that leading into the future, how do you see apprentices in your organizations focusing on priority topics like climate change and the green agenda?
Good question. Straight in there. It really, there's a lot of industries in taking apprentices on in these sort of areas. On the coast there with a lot of wind power. We're getting quite a lot of apprentices on board, and just everything that's coming forward is all moving the industry and expanding what we can offer. And this is where we change our programs to suit and really talk to all the companies and try and share their knowledge and develop young people in those skills. So it is really a massive, massive sector that's moving forward very, very quickly.
Yeah, just to go on from that, the green issue, sustainability, it is massive. Where for some of the younger people, I mean, I've been in companies where the applicant's gone in and been offered a cup of water, and it's been a single-use plastic cup, and they've turned a job down because of that. And these are the things that are driving industry that's out there at the moment. Unfortunately, a lot of the young people here are going to have to start undoing the mess that people of my generation have made. So it's time to be inventive, get on top of that. And to be honest, carbon neutrality is a part and parcel thing of any business these days. Doesn't matter if it's engineering and manufacturing. It's just about the impact that you leave on the planet, really. So the younger people are coming in force now with ways to make things better with all the right ideas as well. So, yeah, a big thing.
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing with what we're delivering is electric vehicle technology now. Obviously, it's becoming a bigger, better thing. And there's so many people out there needing that experience and understanding of how hybrids work and how electric vehicles work. And we are expanding everything we do there. So on that motor vehicle sector, it is another growing area that we need to develop further.
Yeah, I'll echo what the rest of the panelists said. Nowadays, people talk about what's the carbon footprint of your product? And, that's important. It's very important to the world that we're living in today. Energy costs, everybody sees it today. We're having to buy the latest technology to keep our customers competitive. But the latest technology has to be green. We have to say, we're going to manufacture a component, we're going to use less electricity, we're going to use less oil. We know the carbon footprint of this product. It's not, engineering has changed so much. And I remember going to China 15, 20 years ago, and we'd think, wow, how are we going to compete? Everything's so mass-produced, it's so cheap. But you can't fly product in from China. It's not green anymore, or from anywhere else. For us, as a nation, to move forward, we've got to bring the industrial revolution back home. It has to be manufactured in the UK, for the UK, across the whole of the supply chain. And it's so vital moving forward.
Absolutely spot on. Do any of the other panelists want to say something about that, or other priority new topics which might be interesting for apprentices?
So the interesting one for aviation is actually, everybody's seen the solar planes, but last week the first flight actually flew with one of its engines, not one of ours, but as an industry, one of its engines powered by vegetable oil. We're looking at the future for sustainable fuels, so not getting rid of air travel, but making it greener. So this is where we're going. The engines on the newer aircraft that we as a company are buying are far more fuel efficient. So again, that has an impact back on the carbon footprint and everything that goes with that. And then just as a company, as an industry as a whole, we're constantly looking for sustainability. Where can we make things better? You go on a holiday and you look in your hotel and you always see lots of things on the back of the door. And one of the things that we're looking at now when we're sourcing our hotels is not just in this country, but abroad? How do they have an impact on the environment, and how are those hotel chains doing their bit for sustainability? Conserving water is a big thing in Europe, as well as, places like Turkey and things like that, because they don't have as much. The climate change is an issue, and we don't want to be adding any more to that. We want to be working with other companies that we use as part of our supply chain to be able to make things better.
I think, just to reiterate, it's something that's on every company's agenda, or it clearly should be. We're working on our sustainability plan. NHS hospitals are now demanding, what's your carbon footprint on an item? Exactly what you said about a product. How much CO2 does it actually create to make a light? And we're actually analysing this information now and looking at efficiencies within the business, where we can cut out unnecessary processes in our manufacturing and engineering that perhaps before we took for granted, which also gives us some benefits because it's more efficient. So young people, apprentices coming into our business, can really help with that. They are the future leaders of our business. And, we don't have all the answers, as Dean said. We've made a mess of this planet, and we generally, as the generations before, but it's acknowledging that we need to do something about it, and to encourage young people to come in and be bold and be brave about what they stand for, and help us to, move things forward in a good way.
Should we take some questions? Is there any questions from the audience that we have here today? There's no such thing as a bad question.
Hi, I work in the team have been putting this event together, and I've just been speaking to a young guy and his dad, who've just walked out and said, "There's nothing here for me because I can't do maths and English GCSE." What would you have said to that young guy if I could have dragged him back in?
I'm not going to name any names here, but 3 years ago we took on an apprentice, and he knows who he is, and he's here today. And he said, "Will you still take me if I don't pass my English GCSE?" And what do you think the answer was? Absolutely. He's in his 3rd year, coming up now. Work with Apprenticeships, who are our training provider. He has won 2 awards, or been nominated for 2 awards for apprenticeships, and he's just doing amazingly. So to that person, just because you haven't got your maths, there are ways of supporting people to get them through. And I know exams are really important. They're really important, but they will not be important in your life. Wind the clock 40 years. I can't remember what I got in my GCSEs. It doesn't matter. I know people who didn't go to uni, and they've done really, really well for themselves. And I think, yes, it is important to get good results, but some people can't do that for whatever reason. And I think it's unfair to not give people an opportunity.
I hope he can watch that video then.
Yeah, I sincerely hope he can. And that's a true story. And he'll probably be hearing this now and cringing that I'm talking about him, but it's true.
Just on that basis, what sort of things are you looking for? What are the key kind of experiences or skills or other things that anybody could bring to the party to sort of, get them in through the door?
It's a good question. I have it a lot from apprentices, and over my working career, I think I must have recruited potentially 50 to 100 apprentices. Passion and enthusiasm beats any qualification, any exam result, and we can see that when an apprentice walks through the door and they sit there, and you see that passion in their eyes, and they've made something at school and they're so proud of it. And we've had a lot, I did this in engineering, and I said, well, tell me how you made it. Why did you decide to make that? That speaks volumes. It speaks more than any exam results. So when a 16-year-old comes in, or a 17 or 18, passion and enthusiasm beats anything, because we have always said that a CV, an exam result, it may get you through the door for the interview, and that's all it does. But during the interview, when we sit there and we're talking to the future generation of engineers, you can see it. And we always look for that, because if you're really passionate and you want to take a career in engineering for that reason, fantastic.
I'll just support that. from Leeds City College point of view and apprenticeships overall, then it is good to come with the maths and English grades that we generally look for. But people who come with that haven't got those, then we will take them forward and try and achieve the maths and the English at functional skills level. However, the change this year for apprenticeship service is that we've got to get young people or anybody at whatever age to attempt the maths and English and learn something more to develop their skills in the industry, but they don't necessarily have to take the exam. So going forward, we can give them some help and advice, help them towards the overall apprenticeship, but the exam is not essential part of it anymore. So that's a new rule which came in this year.
Maybe so just for the level 2, but not for the level 3 on that. So I want to say as well, and I don't want to dissuade anybody, there is a level of academic ability needed for apprenticeships in engineering. However, if you test and screen and make sure you're getting the right starting point for people, that's what matters. So rather than just chucking somebody straight in and then hoping that it works, it's not going to be right. So we test, we screen, we make sure people are going in at the right level. We understand, I've just been speaking to a chap downstairs and, he said, I had something wrong with me for a few months and then COVID kicked in and then, so there's a lot of tuition for a lot of people that are sat here today that they've missed out on. Don't worry too much about it. Again, we're looking for the individual and reasons why you want to do this. And please, when you applying for any position, whether it's engineering or whatever, tell people why you want to do it. It's not just good enough, my brother does it, my mum does it. You've got to state really why you want to do this and why you feel it's you that should be working for that organisation. And the employers that are sat here, I'm sure they'll see that. But, I do want to say there is a level of academic ability, because if you're doing something along the lines of a level 3 apprenticeship, the maths and science is going to be at A level, but getting the right starting point and can lead up to that as well. So there you go. Great
questions. Are all apprentices into this sector level? What level are they? Do they range at different levels, and how is that for different apprentices?
So apprenticeships start at level 2, and currently at the moment going all the way up to level 7s. So if you think that when you're in year 11, you are classed as level 2, so that's GCSE kind of grades. Now, some places will put you onto a level 2 apprenticeship. For us, if we feel that you've got the ability, then we would look at a level 3 apprenticeship. Now, a level 3 apprenticeship in engineering is somewhere between 36 and 48 months. And a lot of them have level 2 practical skills and level 3 technical skills that's involved with that, plus other things that are involved. So yeah, coming straight from school, there's a good possibility that you can go straight on to level 2. We don't work like that. If we think somebody's got the potential and they're testing well, they're showing that appetite to go out there and get it, then we'll put them straight onto a level 3 apprenticeship, which is what employers want, and it's 4 years in most cases. But it works well for you guys. Ingrid at the side of me, she's got award-winning apprentices that are with them at the moment. So it's everything's an individual case.
I'd just like to echo that. We've got 7 apprentices going through our scheme at the moment. We've got 4 that started last year, and we've got 3 that are actually coming out of their level 3 apprenticeship this year. 2 of them are going on to HNC. One of them's a quality engineer now, so he's going on to take some quality courses and qualifications. We start off at level 3, and the good thing now about apprenticeships is they're at college 2 days a week. Then even in-house, we give them a lot of time, and we put a lot of effort into helping them achieve their qualifications. And I generally come back to that point again. If they're actually interested in the subject matter and they're passionate about it, then they want to learn it. It doesn't become a drag. So the key thing I would say is go into engineering because you like it, you're passionate about it, you're interested in it, and you see a future in it, because these are the key building blocks to get you through your qualifications.
what I would say is don't give up. If you don't get the grades that you need to get to where you need to get to, don't worry about it. The doors are there for you to open. They might not be this time round, they might be next time round. To an employer, if you apply first time round and you're unsuccessful, but you apply next time, then you have a passion because you've come back again. I have an apprentice that works with me. She is in her early 30s. She has 3 children. She didn't pass her maths and her English when she was at school. She was a horse physiotherapist. She is now an apprentice engineer in her 3rd year. She worked on aircraft on a night when her children were young, cleaning them. And she worked with the engineers because obviously the aircraft are flying all day long. So they're on the ground on a night. The engineers work on them. And she got a passion for it. And she went back to school as her children grew up. And now, she's a fantastic engineer and one of the best sheet metal workers we've seen in years. And she's about 5'1". So some of the metal she's working with is bigger than her. But she is a good case in practice of she didn't get her maths, she didn't get her English. She went back to school and did it on an evening when her children were in bed. And then she came back to it later in life. And that might be the road that you end up going down as well. But there is no age limit on an apprenticeship up. I think there was 112 when they first started out. But that's because that was the oldest living person at the time. But you can do an apprenticeship in your 80s if you want to. There's nothing stopping you. So don't think that just because you were unsuccessful when you were 16 or 17, you can't come back to it when you were 18, 19, 20, 30, because you can.
Spot on. Any more questions? Oh.
Thank you. I wonder if you could tell us something as employers about progression or career development opportunities for apprentices that come into your organisations.
So our Director of Engineering is an ex-apprentice. Our Head of Maintenance is an ex-apprentice. Our Head of Engineering is an ex-apprentice. Can you see where we're going with this? For where engineering is a big industry, where it is, a lot of it is almost time served and you work your way up building on those levels. We start out at a level 3 apprenticeship, which is a level 2 and 2 level 3 qualifications. That gets you your A licence. But as an engineer to work on an aircraft, you then need a B licence and type ratings and a C licence on top of that as well. So it's all tiered learning and you build over time and over the years that understanding, that skill level and that problem solving ability as well. It is year on year on year on year. And I think a lot of engineering has and always has been that way. And it depends which way you come into it. You can go degree into engineering, or you can come apprenticeship, time served, physically working on the hand skills, but that might not be your chosen passion. You know you want to be an engineer, but you don't want to get your hands dirty. So think about the other opportunities for coming into engineering as well, on the design side and the theory side, because we're all about the fixing and the building and the maintaining, but somebody's got to do the designing for what we build and what we manufacture and what we fix in the first place.
Just to concur with that, our CEO is apprentice served apprenticeship. I'm the managing director. I'm apprentice served. Our manufacturing director is apprentice served. Our senior production engineer is apprentice served. We're going virtually every senior position held in our organisation has been an apprentice served person.
Sadly, I'm not an apprentice or haven't been. However, we've got succession planning now. Some of the opportunities that we've got within the business start you with that foundation to be able to go into different opportunities. So doing a sort of technical estimator role where you get some sort of basic understanding of our products gives you that foundation to then go into technical sales, for example, or to go into project management on the install side of things. So we've been thinking about how we can give opportunities to young apprentices coming in so they get exposure, all-round exposure to our business, which I believe is absolutely fundamental to keeping people within your business, but giving them those opportunities in different areas and moving round. Another of our apprentices is already saying, when I've done my electrical assembly stint, where am I going next? What am I going to be doing? I quite fancy going into project management, for example. And one of the questions I'm going to say is, why wouldn't we want to keep these fantastic brilliant people that we've invested time in. They've given up, they've sort of signed up to work for us and our business. Why wouldn't we want to give them opportunities to grow and to develop? Why would we want them to go off to other organisations unless there isn't opportunities? And that sometimes does happen, but we want to keep them for as long as possible. And like you do in your, organisation, we have apprentices who've been with us and moved into other roles, and we've kept them, and it's a really good opportunity to keep that talent.
Spot on answers there from lots of very experienced people. I think we're going to wrap up very shortly. But before we do, I would love it if you might give just your top piece of advice for somebody who's considering taking an apprenticeship and who is wondering if it's the right thing for them. How would you advise them to figure out if it's the right thing for them?
I think really there's enough world at your fingertips now, certainly more than when I started my apprenticeship. Do your research, see what's out there. And, just as we were saying before, if you've got an idea of where you want to progress to, look at the sort of businesses that have got those kind of trajectories available. But really, we understand at very young ages, people of school leaving age, it's hard really to sort of identify exactly what you want to do. But there's enough out there really for you to do your research and think, yeah, is that a bit of me? But get out there, speak to people. There's lots of platforms online. Speak to, people such as us, we're an independent training provider. There's colleges on your doorstep. There's enough people there to offer you the advice and guidance, and they should be within your schools. So yeah, as I say, see what it's like out there. Do you know what? If there's something that you really want to do and you think, right, there's a company on your doorstep, get in touch with them. The worst they can say is no. But then if you get in touch with them and say, I really want to do that job, tell me how you got into it. How did you get into this industry? Where did you get to, how did you get to where you are now? And they might say, come on down, see what we're all about. Because believe me, I'm sure I speak for some of the employers. It's an hard slog is recruitment. If people come into them directly, it can certainly take a bit of the hard work out of that. That's that.
I think I build on that in doing your research. I think it's really important to get a good cultural fit between the organisation and the apprentice, because I think sometimes people think, I've got to go and work for that organisation because of the name, but it might not fit your values. It might not fit with what your beliefs are, and making sure that you have that sort of environment that's going to be somewhere that you enjoy going to every day. Because, believe you me, 5 days a week, however many hours you're working, you want to be happy and enjoying your job. So do that research and making sure that, you've got a good sort of affinity with that employer. Because I think that partnership, and I talk about this pastoral care between the employer, the individual and the training provider, is absolutely key to that success. And if you get those elements right, then the likelihood of it succeeding is far greater. And one piece of advice, 3 words, let me remember them: patience, perseverance, and persistence. They were 3 things that I remember from being probably, as most of you, embarking on your careers and having a talk from somebody inspirational about, what would be the best advice I could ever give to you is to be patient, to persevere, and to be persistent. So don't give up. I think that reiterates what everybody else has said. So thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of youngsters, and I don't want to talk about damper on it, you've got 45 years plus to work. And when you sit back and you think 45 years, and we've been there, I started at the age of 16.
How many have you got left then?
I've got a fair few left. 45 years, it sounds like a lot, but the key thing is, am I going to enjoy it? Is it going to make me happy? It's a long time. Will I have an interest in it? Do your homework and go into something that, I'm passionate about it, I like it, and I do see something that's there for me for the long term, because it's not a job anymore, it's an engineering or manufacture, it's a career choice. Yeah.
The one thing I'd say is, if you think you might want to go into a sector, so you may want to go into automotive, have a look around. Is there a local garage near you where on a Saturday you can go and get some insight into how it works? The school holidays, can you volunteer with a local place that restores old cars, or mobility scooters or something like that? Is there, if you want to be in aviation, have a look around. There'll be an airfield where they restore old aircraft. Have a look, do your homework. The internet is just at the end of your thumbs right now. You can go, you can see, and see it is really what you want. If you want to go work, say cabin crew, go get yourself a job, customer service, customer facing, go work in McDonald's. And when customers screaming at you that you've got their McDonald's McFlurry order wrong, and you can cope with that, then yeah, you might want to be cabin crew. But if you want to be a digital marketeer or a social media person, go find the local cats protection charity and get them on TikTok, get them on Instagram. You guys are the future. You know the next social media platform before we've even heard of it. Before the dance craze is out there, you guys have been doing it for about 3 weeks. So have a look around, see where your skills can be developed as well. Because if somebody comes to me and says, actually, I volunteer down at the local, whatever it is, and I have been doing for the last 18 months, I go, this person's committed. This person knows what they want to do. Brilliant. They're already halfway there because they know their own mind. And that works a lot. When I'm looking at your CV, it sets you apart from the other 15 yous that are coming across my desk. And that's what we need to be seeing. Something that's going to make you different from everybody else that's in your school, in your year, wanting to do the same apprenticeship as you.
What can I say? Just reiterate everything everybody else has said. Just do it. Get out there. Apprenticeships are for you. Hands-on skills. That's the sort of thing that you're going to learn every day in your company and also within the college or the training provider. It really is a fantastic opportunity. I started as an apprentice and I'm still here delivering apprentices. I've been in company. I was in a company for 30 years and I trained apprentices. I'm now in college training and encouraging apprentices to take on engineering and manufacturing. Fantastic opportunity. Just do it. Get out there.
Big thank you, everybody, for being on the panel today. And I think our panelists are going to wait around for about 10 minutes afterwards if you've got any questions for them. And you can also go and see them down in the auditorium if you'd like to. But for now, would you please give them a very big round of applause and warm thanks for participating on the panel. And do come and speak to anybody who you'd like to ask another question to before we welcome the next panel at 3:30.